Good morning, friends, and welcome back to our little coffee club. All right, it's early morning for me. I've been up for about an hour and a half. I still haven't had coffee, so I gotta get this thing going. My breakfast is always like a cup and a half of milk, and usually I drink either skim milk or 1%, something really low fat. Yeah, and then I put usually instant coffee or coffee from the mocha pot. If it's instant coffee, it's probably about a teaspoon. I just want a little coffee flavor in it. And then I usually put 1 teaspoon of a calorie-free, usually caramel syrup, but it could be some other kind as well. Just something to give it a little bit extra sweetness. And that's been my breakfast roughly my whole entire life. Then after that, I make coffee, and that's what we're about to do here. Usually I do pour overs, but ever since I've had the Flair, and you should see it back here, there it is. It should be hot, warmed up, ready to go. Let me refocus. So yeah, ever since I've had the Flair, now I make a lot more espresso in the morning. Sometimes I can make an Americano. It depends how the shot pulls. And yeah, and sometimes I'll make also a small pour over. Like, you know how I sometimes brew the 12 grams. I might do that as well. And yeah, that's how I get my day started. All right, so this is another one of Kent's coffees. And I believe it's the last full bag of coffee that I still need to review. I believe now I lost count, so I have to look back and check my videos I've been making. But I think this is coffee number 5. I believe this one should be the 5th one, the last full bag of coffee. After that, we have about another 5 samples. I think it's about 5 samples. It could be 4, it could be 6, I'm not sure. But yeah, there's samples, and the samples, the reason why I left the samples for the end is because I want to deal with them a little bit differently. Once I open the sample, I want to just enjoy the full thing. Yeah, I believe the samples were previously frozen. I don't want to refreeze the previously frozen stuff. I don't think it'll be at its best. So once I open the samples, I'll just go ahead and enjoy all of that. I'll review it with you guys and then just enjoy the rest of that. What I've been doing with the full bags is freezing them, but that should be their first time being frozen. So I have some beautiful Nordic style coffees frozen that we can revisit later in the future. So yeah, we're gonna review this one. I don't know, obviously, like any of them, I don't know anything about it. We'll see, I'll guess at the tasting notes and what we always do. So let's get the bag open. Okay, all the bags, I've been cutting them open because you guys know I save my packaging later on if I wanna check anything that was on the bags or revisit these roasters or anything like that. Well, I have it. I still have the bag. I have a little bit of music playing in the background. Again, for me, it's a little bit nicer to have a little bit of music playing in the background. Plus, it saves me a whole bunch of work in editing. As you guys have noticed, there are some videos that still have some music that I'm still embedding, and sometimes it's just playing in the background. And it is helping my workflow and what I've been doing. Also, I've been practicing with this whole kind of thing of just one angle, one go, and kind of like more raw, more live type of situation, just to practice for the lives and to get better at this. I mean, I don't want to have to do so much editing. I want to give you more content and record more and edit less. That's my goal. I hope you guys don't mind that. Because wow, it really helps to just make more videos and have more fun. And this is the fun part, sharing with you guys and, you know, brewing the coffee, and this whole part is the fun part. And the editing part is not a whole bunch of fun for me unless I'm doing one of those cinematic videos that I love making. Other than that, it's just cutting out nonsense that I'm saying, basically. Okay, so today I'm gonna leave the rest. Let's get right into the coffee. Let's see how long this video is already. 4 minutes and 4.5 minutes. I did pretty well to introduce the video and everything. That's not too bad. 4.5 minutes. And we're gonna get right into the brewing. Let me refocus. Right there. Okay, so before 5 minutes and we're already dosing out. This is pretty good. Come on, for me, this is not bad at all. I'm gonna sit down in front of the camera today. Also, I have the little tripod set up. I tried putting just the camera on top of the counter. That didn't work. That's when my head got chopped off. So I had to use a small tripod, and I've been doing like little test clips before I start. So that's part of the routine. It's a little extra work, but it's worth it. I want to give you guys what you guys want. All right, here we go. 18 grams. I'm not sure where this brew session is gonna be heading today. I thought about it, like how I'm gonna go about it today. I know I wanna make a shot of espresso, that's why the flavor is out. But I wanted to do a pour over also. I don't know if I'm gonna do all of that today. We'll see how I handle that. But I wanna do a type of brewing that Anton told me. He said that if I wanna speed up I think that's what he meant, that if I wanna speed up my drawdown on the April brewer, I can use the little puck screen that's in here. This little puck screen, I can put it on the bottom of the April, put the flat bottom filter on top of this, and this will help to speed up. And you know, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I wanted to do that today, but I really feel like having espresso. So we'll see what happens. If not, I'm gonna do that soon. You'll see that in a video really soon, because I really wanna try that. I'm interested. As a matter of fact, and the reason why I probably don't wanna get into it today is because I wanna compare that style, right, versus just the origami with the flat bottom, see if it really, the April wins with the little, you know, I just wanna test that. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna do all of that today. That's the reason why we'll see what happens. But anyway, I'm between 17.9 and 18. Let's grind this. Grind size, of course, I have no idea. This looks like the lightest one from other ones. At least from the way it looks. It looks like the lightest from all the ones I've seen so far. As far as the aroma, the fragrance first. As far as the fragrance, it smells very clean. I don't see any kind of little bit of something going on like I have on some of the other ones. You guys saw. There's been a couple of them, and those have been my favorite ones so far. All right, let's grind this. I don't know, 13 and a half. Should we try that? 14? Should we try 14? Okay, let's try 14, see what we get from 14. Again, on something like this, I wouldn't mind at all one of those Flair type shots that I do. You guys have seen that on the Flair, the water sitting on top of the coffee for usually like, I don't know, 20, 30 seconds before I'm even pressing. And then once I start pressing, I go slow for another 10 seconds. So like 45 seconds, maybe even a minute, sometimes on the Flair, and I'm not even at full pressure yet. So that's what I'm expecting. And then after that, maybe another 30 seconds. So that's what I'm expecting. That's what, for these kind of roast, that's what I like. And it brings out a lot of sweetness. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, another thing Anton told me is that he pulls shots on the Flair without heating it up so much. He doesn't worry too much about that, and it works just fine. So I don't know. For me, I've always heard, and what I've been doing is getting everything really hot when it's light roast. But who knows? And maybe it's one of those things that you can get away with it without doing all of that. So sometimes if I have the time, I'll let it heat up. If not, I'll try what Anton is telling me. All right, so we're gonna start with grind size 14. Let's see what happens. Let me show you the roast level. Again, try to keep this as unedited as possible. But there you see, this is one of the lightest ones I've seen so far. There's a lot of like light area in between the beans, and a lot of the other ones, although I know that they're light because grinding them has been very difficult when I hand grind them. But, and besides from the flavor and the way the extraction went down from everything, points to the fact that they're lightly roasted. But this one actually looks lighter. Yeah, this one actually looks lighter. Okay, give me a second and let's grind this. Let's go for it. I wanted to show you guys a little bit of the setup, and sometimes I pause. Usually I cut those dead spaces out. I'm sorry if all of a sudden I pause and you're like wondering like, why did he stop talking or something? But sometimes I'm thinking if I want to say something else, or something that I wanted to say and I'm thinking of the right word. You know how it goes. Anyway, so we're still in between 17.9 and 18, exactly what we put in. Listen, guys, I did not go to YouTubers Academy. I do what I can. I'm kind of figuring it out as I go. If you want to perfect your craft at anything in life and you are going to wait until you perfect it to then start, you're just never going to start. You're just never going to start. So don't do that. Just get started and just get better with time and figure it out as you go. Because if not, life is a journey, learning always, you just never stop learning, hopefully. You just keep improving, working on yourself, becoming a better person, all that good stuff. Okay, I forgot my little rags. I gotta add, actually I have 2 small playlists set up for playing the music in the background. I gotta do at least a couple more because they're kind of short, so you guys don't get bored of the same songs. All right, here we go. Okay, now I'm getting more from, and I was already getting, that's why I mentioned it, but I am getting more as far as the fragrance of the coffee. Nice, but it's very clean. I don't suspect any shenanigans happening here. Oh, something else. I've been talking a lot to Anton lately, so hold on, let me refocus. All right, so Anton, I think Anton is into the blind shaking. And obviously the blind shaking works. It's already been proven. And I understand that. But there is such a thing as enjoyment when you're doing your workflow. And I didn't like that at all. I'm not gonna sacrifice like doing something I don't like so that my espresso could potentially be like 1% better or maybe not even better. I don't know. That I would need to, that's why I would love to visit Anton. I love to go to your house, Anton, and for you to make me coffee. Here's the blind shaking. Here's WDT, here's nothing. And let's see, and can you taste a difference? And scramble them up for me. And, I'll be honest. I will tell you, I like this one, then this one, then this one, whatever. We could do some kind of testing. That would be fun. But unfortunately, the only thing we've got is these videos. And I wish you could taste through video. Maybe that's coming soon. You never know. Maybe AI will make that possible. I don't know, man. But it would be nice, right? If you guys could taste the coffee I'm making, wouldn't that be something? Man, that's next level. But hey, listen, I'm not a doctor, I'm not an engineer. I can't make that happen for you, but if you could work on that, I would love to be the first one of the testers of that. The first videos that you could taste. Maybe a little device in the house that gives you a little aroma and transfers the flavor somehow, At the end of the day, right, it's all like electrical signals in your brain. I imagine with enough time and technology that could happen because it's just some signals in your brain that are being triggered. Your taste buds just, if you don't have the brain behind it doing all, and this is all transferring like electrical stimulation. Like, I could, okay, it's fantasy, but hey, you never know. A lot of things that were fantasy and then they became reality, right? Okay, here you see it. We're gonna tap. You see, if let's say I want to say that, do you think once I sit down to have the coffee, which I will today, but do you think I'm gonna remember that? Of course not. That's just gone. I don't know if that adds any value, but I wanted to say it. I think it's interesting. You guys know how I'm a big sci-fi geek. All right, man. Okay, as of me recording this video, just so that you guys know, I know that we are not far away from our first real live session out in the balcony. I want to start like that, and then after that, we'll do a lot of these live. And you guys, I'll look at your comments, we can talk, all of that stuff. But the first one, I want to do the out in the balcony thing. Let me log this in before someone gets triggered. They're already triggered, let's face it. I'm sorry. Let me lock it. Let's keep the heat in there. Oh, and notice that I'm not forgetting to leave the lever up while the whole thing is getting hot. Let's just mention it again. There are a couple of small little plastic components here that will tend to perhaps degrade or crack or may even break if you like cook them. If you leave it down, I don't want to do that now with my portafilter. But if you leave it down, you're gonna could potentially damage the little plastic. So just it's better to just warm it up with the lever up like this. Although I don't like the way it looks, but whatever. Another thing Anton mentioned. Wow, did it slip my mind? He told me something about this. Oh yeah, very good point. Very good point. That a couple of times I checked the puck right after I finished with the Flair, but it's not like by then what are you checking, right? Because I pushed like regular water through it. Like I pulled my shot, and that's the time when you gotta open it and check it. Not after you already like purge again and then you empty it out. You do it twice. It's not, you just can't. And that makes total sense, man. That is true. As far as to see like that, you could still look at the puck. Yeah, it comes out really nice and dry. But yeah, as far as telling something else how your shot went down, it means nothing. Because this is such a good point. I'm like, man, I didn't think of that. But that's absolutely right. It makes no sense after you purge the rest of the water out and you flush it or whatever, it's not, you can't do it that way. You would have to pull the shot and unlock this and then look, but it'll be a soupy mess because you haven't purged the rest of the water out, if that makes sense. I think you guys know what I'm talking about, and that's a perfect, valid point. I'm totally on board. Yeah. All right, let's pull this shot. I think one of the things I was saying, I went on to something else, and let's just push forward. Let me set up my angle here. Okay, let's lock right there. That should be good. Bring in the Akaya. Yeah, today I'm not sure if my automatic espresso function is on, and it is not. You guys know how I love using that. Yeah, I don't want to worry about starting the time or none of that stuff. Okay, so we have everything ready. Let me see my water. Check my water. I gotta get it hot again. Okay, that'll take a couple seconds. Man, I think I was saying something to you guys and my mind wandered off to the other things that I was talking about with Anton. And Anton is like, I think he's like a really professional guy in the man, Anton, I'm not like I say it all the time, I'm not some professional guy. I'm just some dude, man. What do you want from me? You can have that kind of like conversation probably with Jay. He's gonna know like a lot more technical professional things. I'm a hobbyist. You can tell me about WDT tools and all these things that hobbyists talk about. I'm gonna know about all of that. But even with the Bianca that I've been using now for a couple of years, I'm still just some dude. I'm learning. I'm sure I can help somebody that's new, but somebody like you, probably I can. I always tell you guys, I learn more from you than you learn from me. So that's a fact. All right, the espresso cup is cold, so I should be able to get to tasting right away. I don't even know if I want to, because I'm going to talk to you. So I'm going to heat up the cup. Hold on. I'm not sure if you could see it there, but I'm going to pour some hot water into it. I'm going to get it hot because I want to talk to you guys while I'm tasting the coffee. And I want to keep it hot. It's going to take me a few seconds to move the camera and all that stuff. So here you see it, getting it hot. When I'm not thinking about what I want to say and stuff like that, I'm listening to the little bit of music, and I gotta say it adds a little bit. I mean, I know it's just generic kind of music, but some of these artists, man, they're good. They're good. I gotta give them credit. You guys know about Richie by now. This is not him, but all right. Let me relock this. Relock this. Okay, you could see the scale, and I've been noticing that you could see the scale perfectly. So. That's fine, and you can see a little bit of the bottom. You'll see if there's squirts and all of that. So this is good enough. We're gonna roll with this. I wish I could give you all the angles every single time, but that's not gonna happen. Okay, you know what? I remember last time I had to bring this down anyway because I like starting from this point. That I did try. I tried starting with the handle up. I didn't enjoy that. Didn't like it. So yeah, and like I was telling Anton, the fact that I'm enjoying the process and I like doing WDT and I enjoy my tools, like, and I didn't like blind shaking. So yeah, I mean, but I don't doubt it. The blind shaking obviously has been proven. So blind shaking is better, but you gotta enjoy what you're doing. If not, what's the point? I know I couldn't do blind shaking because when I tried blind shaking, it just didn't work. It landed like whatever. Okay, it landed like whatever. It didn't work for me, and I had to still do WDT to get everything even. So yeah, it just didn't work for me. I didn't enjoy it. Okay, so now I'm gonna, again, I like letting the water equalize a little bit. Maybe one day we'll talk about that. That's something I've heard a couple of people talking about that, and Daddy's Got Coffee is one of them. And he explained how the temperature becomes more even in the chamber if you allow it to sit in there for a little bit. If not, the water at the bottom is cooler, and noticeably so, than the water on top. So the shot, as you're pulling the shot, it starts with cooler water and it gets hotter and hotter at the end. And if you wanted to extract more evenly, and you know, how much of a difference is gonna that make? Probably not much. But it sounds like logical, it sounds like a good idea and like best practice. Look, I thought that, hey, puck prep is probably not that much of a big deal. It turned out to be a really big deal, at least for for my skill level. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start the time here. I'm gonna go up on this. Now that water is dropping on the puck. Okay. So I don't wanna go all the way up. Wanna wiggle it around a little bit, get some of the air pockets out. Re-top it off, like so. Move it a little more. Okay, here we go. 20 seconds and we are starting. I'm like at 2 bars. I got first drip. Okay, I got 2 grams in there. Now I'm gonna ramp up. I'm at 7.5. That's where I always end up at. I think it's pulling a little bit fast. Well, I went over. I went to 49.7. But you know, the thing is that I'm looking down here, but I'm also looking at the pressure. On the Bianca, since you're using the paddle, you just kind of leave it, you know. But here, since the pressure is not constant because you're having to press, it's a little bit different game, you know. This shot was a little bit fast for me. 22 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna make a little mess. I pulled out the Akaya with the drip tray. I know it's dripping, guys. Give me a second. Let me get some paper. Okay, stop the drippage. And I forgot, you see, this is, today I forgot this thing. All right, put that thing in there. All right, let's purge this thing before I make more of a mess. Again, that's why I wanted my espresso cup to be hot. Okay. Stop my Akaya. I'm gonna bring this up now because I don't want it to cook. I'm gonna let that drip a little bit. Let me set up the camera on the other counter. Stir, give this thing a stir. Okay, coffee's ready for tasting. Usually I cut out all of this nonsense from the video, and today I might. I don't know how much editing I'm gonna do. Anyway, I know this shot was fast. My workflow for me to start pressing went down way better than normal. I was like 30 seconds into it, already pressing at 2 bars. I waited my first 2 grams in low pressure, and then I ramped up. And from first drip, we were at 20 something seconds. I think like 22 seconds. That's gonna be fast. You know what? I better taste it maybe, because what if I don't like it? Let me taste it. Yeah, it's way too high acidity. Well, hold on. Let me not say way too high. It's high, but not way too high. Let me give it another taste. Okay, The reason why that happens is because up front, when you first taste it, oh, the acidity hits you and it's high. But then it goes into the sweetness and you kind of get the other flavors, and then you're like, wait a minute, maybe it's not too high. And that's what happens. At least that's what happens to me. All right, now that this is not dripping, now that that's not dripping, give me a second, because I want to check under here. I don't want to leave coffee under here drying in there. Anyway, I always try to give you guys something aesthetically pleasing to look at, and I want to keep everything tidy. Besides, it's just me. That's just the way I am. I mean, my kitchen's always spotless regardless whether I'm making videos or not. So, all right, let me try it again. Wow, very high acidity, but it tastes really good, man. The flavor profile of the coffee, wow, it's delicious. This is gonna become an Americano. I know that already. Let me get my cup. I wonder if I should guess at the tasty notes like this or make the Americano. I don't know what to do here, guys. All right, give me a second. Usually I think about it and cut all this out. Well, this is gonna, you know what? Let's start getting this cup hot. Let's start with that, because I don't want the coffee to get cold. So let's heat that up, leave it there. Let me set up the camera, talk to you guys, and then we'll figure out the rest. Let's see, I wonder if I can leave this uncut like I did last time. How did I do it last time? All right, I know I'm gonna have to edit some of that out. That did not go smoothly at all, but whatever, it's been like 3 minutes. All right, here's the shot. Cheers. Okay, I'm tasting, you know, I've had coffee just like this. This just, this gotta, okay, if I had to guess, I would say this is some kind of an African coffee, maybe Kenya, maybe Ethiopia. It's fruity, it's just the right level of brightness, although the acidity is high for me, but it's delicious. It's delicious. I wish the shot would have taken another 15 seconds to pool, perhaps. You know, I don't want to drink all of it. I want to try it as an Americano, but very fruity. The level of acidity is high right now, but it's just the presentation of the acidity is outrageous. Super good. Just berries. I'm not gonna say citrusy. Yeah, fruitiness, citrus, fruitiness, berries up front. Okay, berries up front, then just fruity, beautiful coffee. Smells great, clean. This one's clean. This one's really clean. All right, let's add a little bit of water and see if it makes a difference as an Americano. So yeah, this video is gonna require a little bit of editing, at least on this part. Okay, so I added a little bit of water. I don't want to dilute it too much. Let's try it here. It's still high, the acidity. But the flavor profile of the coffee is delicious. It's spot on. Like I said, like maybe like the Kenyan coffees, some kind of Ethiopian. Let's add a little more water. All right, now it's gonna be hot, so I'm gonna allow it to cool a little bit. Let's take a look at the bag. Again, clean, berryness up front, fruitiness. I've had tons of coffees like this. The presentation of acidity is wonderful. The flavor profile of the coffee is great, just like the Kenyans. Maybe it's a Kenyan. Let's see. All right, let's see. Since I'm gonna be editing some of this, I'll try to put the label here on the screen so you guys could see what it is I'm looking at. Oh, this one, yeah, this one, the tasting notes are in English. So rose hips, hibiscus, this would point to a very floral coffee, at least to me, but I'm not getting a lot of that. I'm getting a lot more fruitiness. And then red berries. Okay, so the berries, you know, I could totally see like the berries up front. Yeah, but you would think like the taste profile would be a lot more floral than like fruity, like what I'm tasting. So I don't think I did too well at all in that regard. The process, it just says washed, and you could tell this is super clean. Mount Elgon, Kenya. So it is a Kenyan coffee. So I think I got that right. So, all right, I did. Okay, giving me credit for that and for the berryness, I did pretty good, pretty good. I did not see it as so floral. Maybe when I make it as filter coffee, I will see that. This is maybe one that we can record some more and try that, what Anton was telling me. I'm really curious about that. How much of a difference it's gonna make the little puck screen below the paper filter. I have a feeling that's gonna work. It's gonna work well. I don't know why, but I think that's gonna work well. All right, let's try it here. Cheers. Okay, now it's getting there, but believe it or not, you could still add a little bit more water. Wow, the fruitiness and berryness on this coffee, I've been saying Kenya. Kenya is the origin of the year for me, bar none, no doubt about it. No doubt about it. The Kenyan coffees I've been having this year have been fantastic, man. It started with that. I remember that very first shot from Hinterhoff that I pulled on the Bianca, it just blew my mind. I was like, this thing is so delicious. Then I made it as filtered. It just carried over to filter. It was wonderful. Then I had the one from Fried Hats. And this one is exactly like those two. It's just like them. The one from Good Brothers, totally different. Totally different. Man, it's so... the acidity just cannot be tamed. This, although it pulled very fast, it's just lovely. The acidity is just... the presentation of the acidity, yes, it's high. Now it's better. Now I would say it's just fine. But right from the get-go, it's just a wonderful, it's high, but it was wonderful acidity. The presentation of it is just really nice. The one from Good Brothers was loud and just harsh, like a lot and just in your face kind of thing. Like, like biting into a grapefruit that is very acidic, not the Red River ones, which are way more pleasant. Yes, you still get that, you still get the grapefruit flavor, but they are a bit sweeter, and the acidity, the presentation of the acidity is way easier to take and nicer, But now that this one is just like the other ones, like the Fried Hats, like Hinterhoff, man. Yeah, so I'm gonna make this as filter coffee. I think for today, I have time today. It's early. I started real early today, so I have time, and maybe we'll do a quick filter coffee. All right, give me a second. I'm gonna have to edit this anyway. So I was already in front of the camera. I guessed at the tasting notes. Okay, let me think about this and set up. All right, so now that I know that this is gonna become an edited video, I'm gonna have to do some editing here. I might as well just push forward. It's still super early. Today I have time. Let's give this thing a last little swirl here. Stir it up. Right now that it cooled down, it's even better. It's even better because it lost a little bit of the sharpness. And as far as the acidity up front, it was still a little bit, it was almost just perfect. But right now it's perfect. Right now it's perfect. This is spot on. It's still warm, but right now the fruitiness just went to another level. It's sweeter. The upfront acidity is a little bit more subtle, that's not the exact word I want to use, but it's the same thing. It's a synonym. It's more subtle. Yeah, wow. Man, I really hate to see you go, buddy, but this is it. Man, that was wonderful. It really was. But all these Kenyans, they just been, I wonder if everyone's tried a Kenyan already this year. This is beautiful. This is perfect. Okay, let's look at this. This here should be the roaster or the coffee shop where this is was made or roasted. And it says it's from Oslo, Norway. I think we had another one already from Oslo. I know Kent is in Bergen. And I believe we had something from Bergen. I mean, man, wow. Okay, this is the Amsterdam experience is just like this. Okay, it's just like this. I don't know about Norway if the coffee shop density is like Amsterdam, because Amsterdam, but again, I'm talking about the historical area of the city, which is not like immense. It's big, but it's not immense. Recently, okay, just to put things into perspective, okay, I think Miami's big, but you can drive from as far south as you can go well, first of all, Miami is very small. If you guys didn't know, Miami is a tiny city. Okay, so the city of Miami is tiny. But when people talk about Miami, they talk about Miami-Dade County. The county of Miami-Dade is big. And I think there's like 3 million people, something like that. I could be wrong on this, don't quote me, but I think it's like 3 million people. To drive from the farthest point of Miami-Dade County to the north of Miami-Dade County, it might take you an hour on the highway, maybe less without traffic. If you go in a straight line, which I'm not even sure if that, on US 1 you could do that, but that's on, in that road, and you're gonna be hitting traffic lights. So you're gonna have to take the highway. And the highway, it's not, I guess you'll have to take the turnpike and, okay, whatever, it doesn't matter. The thing is that it'll take you like an hour with decent traffic, okay, driving from the south to the north. But to put things into perspective, Amsterdam, I don't know. I'm not so familiar that I could tell you that, but I could tell you this because I recently saw it on a YouTube video. In China, okay, you can take a fast train, and to go around the whole line of the train, which goes around the city, it takes like 3 hours. What? In 3 hours, you can do Dade, you can do Broward, you can do Palm Beach, you can be like, you can be beyond Port St. Lucie, you can do like, wow, you can do half of Florida, okay, in 3 hours. So that's one city in China. So you're talking about 29, 30 million people, one city. So to put things into perspective, although Miami-Dade County to me sounds big with very populous and a lot of people, there are certain levels of things, right? There are certain levels. So I don't even know how I got into this whole rant, but hopefully you guys found that little detail interesting at least. But I think I was talking about Norway, and I think Bergen and Oslo are two of the biggest cities, maybe the biggest cities. Oslo is probably the biggest city, and I think it's the capital of Norway. I think Oslo and Bergen are kind of like, you have to kind of cross the whole country, but even that doesn't seem like that much. Now, if you go from end to end, it's kind of long, but the width of it is not much. So yeah, I don't know, maybe Ken will give some comments as to populations. Let's just move on, man. I don't know how I got into all that rant, but anyway, hopefully you guys found it somewhat interesting. Okay, we're gonna get into obviously I continue with the video. What I'm gonna do is, this is gonna become a Sunday video, unedited video. And yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm really interested in finding out what's gonna happen here. We're gonna compare, okay, the two not origamis. We're gonna compare flat bottom filters, okay? And we're gonna put one in the April and one in the origami. The origami, obviously you can't put anything in the bottom of it. It's just flowing out. But on the April, we're gonna have the puck screen. And I have a feeling the April's gonna be faster with the puck screen. I think what Anton told me is gonna really work, like speed up the brew. So let me set it up and I'll catch you on, oh, wait, what am I doing? We're gonna, hold on. I'm getting ahead of myself like I always do. We're gonna grind the 12 grams and check retention and all that stuff. I'm using the Duo. I always start usually at grind size 55 and then dial in from there. 55 gives me a very good idea, and sometimes I don't even need to touch it. It just stays at 55. It tastes wonderful and I don't mess with it. On the Duo, I kind of never go below 50, and I don't remember ever going above 65. So 55, 60, you can start somewhere in between there and then go up or down another 7-8 notches and you're golden. Okay, so that's usually what happens on the Duo in my experience and with my setup and with the coffees I'm brewing. So, all right, let's get this going. We're gonna check retention. That's one thing we always do on this channel. Okay, hold on, let me refocus. Okay, we should be refocused there. Yeah, I'm gonna just end up, I have to edit some things on this video anyway. Hopefully it'll be minimum. Oh, as I'm talking to you guys here, yeah, I think I already mentioned that unfortunately, I was really looking forward to going to Berlin, Germany, and to Prague. That was my plan for our trip. Another, well, Camera Woman's world tour continues. So I was hoping it would be that. I really was looking forward to it, but plans have changed. But I think we're still going on a trip. I think we're going to Scotland, and I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. And I don't think any of you guys are in Scotland from what I've seen, but comment below if you're in Scotland. But by the time you see this, I probably went and came back and I don't know, but most likely. Wait, I did 18. We're not doing 18, we're doing filtered. I'm doing 12. And yes, I'm gonna drink all this coffee. I feel a lot better now after the espresso, actually. Okay, so 12.1. Oh, and by the way, my wife has told me, like, aren't you like scared that maybe you're addicted to caffeine and to coffee? Well, I thought I probably was, right? But recently, oh, and here's another detail. I finished the unfinished project. So the project I finished it. I recorded all it's done, it's ready. As soon as I post that, we're gonna go live the very next Friday after that one. So that's why I'm telling you guys that we're almost ready to really start going live. By the time you see this video, maybe that's about to happen, or who knows if it just happened. I don't know. This is confusing, but I don't think so, because this will be a Sunday video. But yeah, but pretty soon I finished that project. Pretty soon we will go live. And I was telling you something about my wife, and now, oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Lost my train of thought. Okay, 12 grams. Man, what was I gonna tell you guys? I was leading on to something. All right, never mind. Let's push forward. I got 12 grams. We're gonna compare the two brews and see if it's faster on the April with the puck screen. And all right, let's just grind this one. We should get 12 grams back out. Little petals, a little tapping on the spout, boom, 12 grams, exactly what we put in, okay? Now this one's not gonna weigh out 12 because the cups weigh different, so I'm gonna have to start at 0. As long as when I put it back, it says 0, then same thing we put in, same thing we got out, right? So here we go. Okay, let's check this one. 0. So exactly 12 grams in both cups. We're ready to proceed. Now I'm gonna stop the clip, set up the, I think I'm gonna give you today the overhead shot, even if you could see the tripod and see how I figure this thing out. I have an idea, so you'll see on the next clip. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try this angle. I think from this angle, you guys should be able to see the timing on the scales, and you'll see me pouring, and you'll see the whole thing. But so the Origami just gets the filter, right? Nothing else. And again, these are the Kalita filters that stalled on me twice. I don't even understand why they kept stalling. And then when I try to review it on the video, it just flowed fine, and I haven't been able to figure it out, but whatever. They stalled on me twice, but I've brewed with them already another, I don't know, 5-6 times. They haven't stalled again. So I don't know. I really don't know why it stalled a couple times. Okay, so here's the Flair puck screen. I'm gonna put this at the bottom. Wow, that fits like a glove. Anton, you were right. That works. That looks perfect. It fits perfect. I wonder though, is this gonna be faster than that? You would think no, because there's something in the way there. And you know, I hate the fact that I started to tell you one story and then I went into something else and lost track of what I was trying to say. But what are you gonna do? You know, you gotta push forward. So yeah, it looks like we're gonna go to Scotland. That's for sure. And I'm not sure if you guys will know before, by the time you see this video, like I said, I probably came back, already recorded some videos as to the experience, brought back some coffee, the whole works, you know? But you guys will hear about it regardless. But if you are in Scotland somewhere, leave a comment. I know that Nick is in the UK, but he's completely on the opposite end, I believe. Completely opposite. Nick is known as New Forest Explorer on YouTube and on Instagram. Cool dude, check him out. One cool thing about the Scotland, the town that we're gonna be staying in Scotland is, I think it's what inspired the whole Harry Potter situation or saga or books or movies or whatnot. The whole Harry Potter thing. Okay, so I rinsed them. Now it's very uncomfortable for me to pour, but I'll try to figure it out because I like the angle. You can see the scales, the whole thing. So I think this is gonna work good, man. I gotta try this one. We'll see. Pouring is gonna be a situation here, but we'll figure it out. We will figure it out. So let's get the water out of here. Again, today I probably will taste from these 2 cups. And I know that, you know, 1 cup is more focused for sweetness, the other one for acidity, but that's not what we're looking for today here. We're looking at speed. Is this gonna brew faster than this one? So is the April with the puck screen from the Flair 58, will it flow faster than the Origami with just the filter? So we'll see. We'll see. So we have exactly 12 grams. Let's get this, yeah, I already weighed it and everything. Let's just get it in here. See, the Origami brewer right now is in a position that is kind of like underneath the cabinets. You can't see the cabinets, obviously, but it's very difficult for me to get to it to pour into, but we will figure it out. We will figure it out. Oh, okay, another thing is I'm not planning on doing any agitation whatsoever, none. Because I think any kind of input that I put into this is gonna affect our situation here. So yeah, that's even better. Okay, yeah, that's even better. So let's focus over here. I think one is gonna be more focused than the other, but you know, okay, I locked in the focus. Should I turn on the overhead lights? That's the only last factor, but then I lose my ambiance. Well, today we're gonna push like this and see how it looks later when I edit, but it looks like it's bright enough. It looks like it should be pretty good. Okay, anything else I need to do here? Let's start the scales. Even getting to the scales, I kind of Can't get to them. Okay, so yeah, you could definitely see the numbers. So I like that. There's no tripod in the shot. I like that as well. I know that the numbers look a little bit blurry because they're quite below the point of focus. So, but that's fine. Okay, since we are guessing the origami is gonna go slower, let's start with that one. So I will start the time. And I will start, oh my God, can I even see the numbers? Yeah, kind of. Okay, 30, I know my pouring is not gonna be spot on because again, I can barely see what I'm doing. So let's start this one. 30 to 60. Okay, 28 seconds, let's pour again. Went over, but okay, close enough. This one about the same amount of time. Let's go again. Okay, so 2 pours in each one. Here I'll start pouring at around 1:20. That's usually what I do for my third pour. I don't know, these seem to be going kind of like at the same speed here, but we'll see what happens. The April versus the origami. Okay, so at 1:20 I'm going again here. It still had water on top, you could see it. I can barely see the numbers on the scale from this angle, so I'm doing the best I can. But as long as I finish at 180, and that's spot on, 180 exactly, 1.5 minutes. And here we just hit the same time. It looks about the same. So we're gonna pour again. Okay, 150 and then finish at 180. $180. Okay, we're done with the kettle. I did the best I could with the pouring. Moving forward, I'm not sure if this, I'm gonna change the angle again, probably will, because it was very difficult to pour. Yeah, it's just very difficult to pour. Okay, I haven't touched the brewers. You guys see, this is as fair as I could make it. The pouring structure was roughly the same. You know, the same yield, they both have 180 grams. And we'll see if one finishes faster than the other. Again, the numbers below are blurry because I'm focused on farther up, if that makes sense. If you know about photography, then you know all about depth of field and why that happens. Okay, obviously the origami is, I started first, so should finish faster. And if I see like 3.5 minutes from this coffee, wow, I nailed it, because that should be wonderful for this light of a roast. And then I can try to go faster, maybe finish just below 3 minutes. I might have to go all the way up to 4 minutes, you know, it depends. For this little bit of coffee though, I mean, this should be 3.5 minutes. You shouldn't have to go any longer than that. Okay, I'm calling this one, it's barely dripping. 3.5 minutes. Did the scale stop? Yes, 3.5 minutes. Let's see this one. Will there be any difference? I know it's a bit dark, guys. Maybe I should have turned on the overhead lights. Let me line it up a little bit. Can I do that? Yeah, I did, but it's still not ideal. Okay, I'm telling you though, it's about to be completely dry. No, this was slower. The April with the screen is slower than the origami with nothing. It's still dripping. It still has a little bit of liquid on top. I could see it. It's about to finish drying. I don't know if you guys could see that. There, I lined it up for you. Now it's dry and it's just finished dripping. So 4 minutes and 7 seconds versus, wow, a whole 30-second difference. The origami with nothing was faster. So once again, I don't know if I did this fairly, Anton. I did as best as I could. I'm sure the coffee will taste lovely from both from both brewers. I don't think there'll be a detectable difference as far as flavor. I mean, 30 seconds is quite a bit. It should be some difference, but on these lighter rolls, a lot of times there won't be any difference. So this is what happened. I would love, although it's not the same brewer, right? We have an April with a screen and we have an Origami. So who knows, maybe I always thought that the April would be faster than the Origami, but look, the April with the screen is still not even as fast as the Origami with nothing. I don't know, does this mean anything to you guys? Do your own experiment, let me know. But let me set up and I'll talk in front of the camera to say goodbye and taste these two cups, see if there's any difference. Try this wonderful coffee as filtered, and then we're gonna wrap this up. So obviously then this is gonna be an edited video and a Sunday video, so you're gonna get both espresso and filter coffee. It's what I like doing, but sometimes the videos get a bit lengthy. But being that the words flowed kind of okay today for the most part, except for a couple of little caveats. But yeah, I'm happy with this. Let me set it up and then we'll taste them. All right, so as you saw, 30-second time difference. Will there be any flavor difference? In my experience, maybe not, but perhaps sometimes there is. So you would think there is, and maybe for some experts, you can see the difference in timing on filter coffee like that. And sometimes I've been able to, but for the most part, usually no. But let's try it. All right, cheers. This was the April one. Yeah, this is just like the Kenyans, like the other two Kenyan coffees. It's just absolutely spot on and wonderful. Okay, then this is the one from the Origami. Cheers. There's a little bit of a difference. There's a little bit more acidity and brightness on this one. I don't remember what cup is the one for the acidity and which one's the one for the sweetness, but I would say here there's a little more acidity. I don't think it has anything to do with it. You know what, let's just put them over to the shot glass. There's a little bit more better pop of acidity here. Okay, let me put them over to the shot glasses. Okay, now they're over to the shot glasses. Let's try again. So this was the April. And this was the Origami. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm tasting the same thing. I don't know if the glasses had any kind of placebo effect or something. I'm still tasting the same thing. The acidity here is nicer. I'd rather drink the one from the Origami. Of course, that probably has more to do with the speed of the brewing than from the brewers or anything else, okay? So it was the same paper, the same grinder, you know, just the speed was different. I don't even think the April and the Origami will give you I mean, if you're using the flat bottom on both, I don't think it's gonna be that much of a difference. I think here the difference is because of the speed. The drawdown was faster and the brew was faster on the Origami by 30 seconds. And I think it made a little bit of a difference on the upfront acidity. Both cups are wonderful, both are great. The April has a little bit less acidity. There's more acidity on the Origami right now, and probably just because of the 30-second time difference. So that being said, they're both wonderful. I'm gonna enjoy the rest of that coffee. You guys got to see me in front of the camera tasting the coffee twice today, so I will always try to do a better job with this part of it. I like this little setup. It's a lot easier than to have to clear out the counter, have a bunch of little knickknacks there to facilitate me making the videos. Some of the things I use, I just put them off to the side. It's just faster and easier. Like the scissors are there now. I'm looking of course, the other brewer, the Flair 58 is on there. There's another little tripod. There's, this is easier, and it's less clips from less cameras, so it's just easier to deal with it. As a matter of fact, today's video I shot completely on my phone. Somebody asked me recently that what do I use to make the videos. Mostly is my phone. Almost everything is my phone. I have a Samsung Galaxy whatever. When I bought it, it was the best one, their flagship, but I've had it already for like 2 years, at least 2 years. So yeah, it works great. I mean, the phone does a great job. When it's low light, that's the only difference. Mainly when the camera shines, or when you want really shallow depth of field. I have some lenses, like I have an 85mm 1.8 it's just, man, the things turn to butter. The background just is gorgeous. I love it, but it's more setup. A lot of times when I do my cinematics, I use mostly the camera because I want to take the time to create something like that, right? So yeah, if you know a little bit about photography and stuff, you probably know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I'm gonna wrap things up here. Thank you for spending the time with me. I appreciate you guys a whole bunch. My coffee family here on YouTube, you guys are the best. And this is gonna be a Sunday video. So yeah, that being said, remember to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and I'll see you guys on Friday.